Inside Gaming is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Don't let hackers steal your financial details. Secure your data at expressvpn.com/inside. Welcome to Inside Gaming. I'm Brian. It is the weekend roundup. Man, we made it through this week, you guys. It just seemed like a month. This week has been eternal, but we did it. We got a lot of gaming news to talk about. First up, happy next-gen console eve, you guys. As you know, the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S launch next week. So if you didn't manage to pre-order one, get ready to make a mad dash to your local store, right? Your GameStops, your Best Buy. Well, not so fast if you want a PS5, because Sony dropped a bomb on us this week saying that all launch day sales will be online only. And as you might guess, it has something to do with COVID. In a blog post, Sid Schumann, the senior director of Sony Interactive Entertainment's content communications, said that in the interest of keeping our gamers, retailers, and staff safe amidst COVID-19, today we're confirming that all day of launch sales will be conducted through the online stores of our retail partners. So congrats to all the retail bots for getting a PS5 on launch day, I guess. Now, of course, launch day is November 12th in the US, Japan, Canada, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, and South Korea. November 19th, the rest of the world. Schumann added, no units will be available in-store for purchase on launch day. Please don't plan on camping out or lining up at your local retailer on launch day in the hopes of finding a PS5 console for purchase. Be safe, stay home, and place your order online. Oh, this is gonna suck so bad. And they said, though, that gamers who arranged for pickups of pre-orders at their local retailer should still be able to do so under the retailer safety protocols. So there you go. No mad crush at the store, no camping out in long lines like the old days, no fight videos getting uploaded to Reddit. That's gonna be a bummer. Meanwhile, we got a little bit more news about the PS5. It apparently won't support native 1440p resolution. This comes from IGN Italy, which says it's got confirmation from Sony Europe about that earlier this week. Now, the main people this is going to affect are PlayStation gamers who have 1440p monitors that they game on. Most TVs, they're usually either 1080 or they're 4K. The PS5, though, it can output a maximum of 8K resolution, there you go, and 4K at 120 FPS via the HDMI 2.1 compliant TVs if you have one of those fancy ones. It'll also work at 1080p resolution too. But again, 1440 has been used by a lot of PC gamers. Looks like that won't be available, so that is a bummer. Let's talk about other news stories. This year might have been a trash fire for all of us, but it's been great for Nintendo. Their profits have jumped more than 200% on the strength of games like Animal Crossing. That has sold an insane 26 million copies. It's the second best-selling Switch game ever, just behind Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that sold 29 million. Mario Karts are always the top sellers for whatever Nintendo console is currently at. Super Mario 3D All-Stars also did well. It sold more than 5.2 million units in just 12 days. Pokemon Sword and Shield, which weren't that great, sold a combined 19.2 million units. As for the Switch itself, Nintendo has sold 68.3 million Switches now. It's now ahead of the NES, and it's behind only the Wii. So, man, it has done insane. All right, the ghost hunting game Phasmaphobia has been a massive hit, and it has made the developer reconsider their plans. I didn't realize this. One person made that game. It's a developer who goes by D. Nider, made it as a solo project with no formal training in development. They told IGN that they had fairly limited plans for the game's early access, saying, I was originally planning the early access to be short, where I just add a few more maps, ghost types, and equipment. However, due to the game's popularity, everyone's expectations are increased, so I'm going to have to reconsider my plans for the game's future. Now, D. Nider didn't go into specifics about their updated plans. Sounds like the game, though, is going to stay in early access longer, and the additions might get more ambitious. For now, though, they say their focus is just on getting the major bugs fixed before they start working on new content, and we saw that already in a patch last week that made a bunch of fixes to the games. IGN asked D. Nider if they ever thought the game would be this big of a success. They said no, not at all. They said they were planning for the server to hit a max of 500 players on launch day, and then they just expected it to drop off. It did 2 million in sales, they said, and is peaking at over 100,000 players. So that is nuts. Some bad news, Sega not doing well these days. The developer announced that it's getting out of the arcade business, selling off most of the nearly 200 arcades it manages in Japan. They cited, you guessed it, the coronavirus being bad for business. They also announced they're looking to trim staff. They're going to ask hundreds of employees to quit their jobs. That is never good. Their mid-year financial report also revealed they have lost the equivalent of $206 million this year. That's a bummer. I love Sega. More bad news. Kerbal Space Program 2 is delayed again. Take-Two Interactive said in a financial report that the game won't come out until 2022. That was later echoed in a post on the developers forums by the game's creative director, Nate Simpson. Simpson wrote, "I know this is frustrating, especially considering this isn't the first time we've adjusted our schedule. We knew we were taking on an immense technical and creative challenge when we started this project. We've heard time and again from this community that quality is paramount, and we feel the same way." He added that they're creating a reliable foundation on which players and modders alike can build for another decade or more. He said, though, they're having a lot of challenges with that. They're having to solve problems that have never been solved before, and that takes time. That makes sense. All right, time for a 5-second review. So when I was a kid, a robot came to our school and sang the Ghostbusters song because the 80s were awesome. At least I think that happened. Maybe that was a dream. I don't know. Now let's talk about the stuff coming out next week. We have a ton of stuff, obviously, to talk about. I'm not going to be able to hit all of it because it's like a million things. I'm going to hit the highlights. First up, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Become Eivor, a mighty Viking raider, and lead your clan from the harsh shores of Norway to a new home amid the lush farmlands of 9th century England. Explore a beautiful, mysterious open world where you'll face brutal enemies, raid fortresses, build your clan's new settlement, and forge alliances to win glory and earn a place in Valhalla. It comes to PC, Xbox Series X, it's almost here, PS4, Xbox One, Stadia, November 10th. It's coming to PS5, November 12th. Another big release, the Xbox Series X and S. They're releasing on November 10th. You don't need me to describe. It's the next-gen Xboxes. They look awesome. There you go. All right, next up, Destiny 2 Beyond Light. Oh, it's going to be a big one. A new power is born out of the ancient pyramid ship above Europa's frozen frontier, and a dark empire has risen beneath. In Destiny 2 Beyond Light, join your fellow Guardians and bring down the Empire at any cost, even if it means wielding the darkness itself. Oh, hell yeah. It comes to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Stadia November 12th. The Falconeer is an open-world air combat game featuring frenetic aerial dogfights and deep exploration of the mysterious open world of the Great Ursea. Generations of poisonous decisions and treason swirl in the deep as factions clash in a fight to preserve the past or flee its terrible consequences. It comes to PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X November 10th. From the creators of Rock Band and Dance Central, welcome to Fuser, a non-stop digital music festival where you control the music and share it with the world. That sounds kind of cool. It comes to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch November 10th. Gears Tactics is the fast-paced, turn-based strategy game from one of the most acclaimed video game franchises, Gears of War. Outnumbered and fighting for survival, recruit and command your squad to hunt down an evil mastermind who makes monsters. It comes to Xbox Series X and the Xbox One, November 10th. Observer, System Redux, the year is 2084. In a dark, cyberpunk world shattered by plagues and wars, become a neural police detective and hack into the jagged minds of others. Make use of anything they felt, thought, or remembered to solve the case and catch the elusive killer. It comes to PC and Xbox Series X November 10th. Planet Coaster Console Edition. Surprise and delight crowds as you build the coaster park of your dreams and manage a truly living world with unparalleled attention to detail. Whatever your skill level, bring your ideas to life. Take advantage of blueprints to quickly place over 700 pre-made objects, including coasters, facilities, and scenery. Build from the ground up with detailed piece-by-piece construction, or transform the ground itself with terrain-altering tools. It comes to Xbox Series X, PS4, and Xbox One November 10th. 13 is a remake of the cult first-person action game that was originally released in 2003. You play as 13, a man without an identity, in a solo campaign with numerous twists and turns. Inspired by the eponymous graphic novel, the game features a completely reinvented and unique cel-shaded design. In 13, players can also take part in fierce multiplayer fights. It comes to PC, PS4, and Xbox One November 10th. Yakuza, Like a Dragon. Become Ichiban Kazuga, a low-ranking Yakuza grunt left on the brink of death by the man he trusted the most. Take up your legendary bat and get ready to crack some underworld skulls in dynamic RPG combat set against the backdrop of modern-day Japan. It comes to PC, Xbox Series X, PS4, and Xbox One November 10th. Next up, the PS5. Holy smokes, it's almost here. It comes to the US, Canada, Australia, and Japan, all those countries I mentioned before, on November 12th, and it comes with Astro's Playroom. So there you go, that's pretty awesome. And it comes everywhere else November the 19th. Up next, Bug Snacks. Oh yeah, it takes you on a whimsical adventure to Snacktooth Island, home of the legendary half-bug, half-snack creatures, Bug Snacks. Invited by the intrepid explorer Elizabeth Megafig, you arrive to discover your host nowhere to be found. Her camp is in shambles and her followers scattered across the island, alone and hungry. It's up to you to solve the mysteries of Snacktooth Island. What happened to Lizbert? What are Bug Snacks? Where do they come from? But most of all, why do they taste so good? It comes to PC, PS5, and PS4 November 12th. Up next, the Demon's Souls remake. Hell yeah. From PlayStation Studios and Bluepoint Games comes a remake of the PlayStation classic Demon's Souls. It's entirely rebuilt from the ground up, masterfully enhanced. This remake introduces the horrors of a fog-laden, dark fantasy land to a whole new generation of gamers. Those who have faced its trials and tribulations before can once again challenge the darkness in stunning visual quality with incredible performance, and it comes to the PS5 November 12th. Godfall, you are the last of the Valorian Knights, masters of combat equipped with legendary armor called Valor Plates. Ascend in Godfall, a first-of-its-kind looter-slasher melee action RPG. It comes to PC and PS5 November 12th. Just Dance, you know what Just Dance is. It's the ultimate dance game with 40 hot new tracks that you won't know. You won't know any of these and you're going to feel really old, like Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa, Feel Special by Twice, and Senorita by Shawn Mendes, and Camila Cabello. I don't know any of those people. Start a dance party your friends and family can enjoy. It comes to PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and Stadia November 12th. Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Holy crap, everything is coming out next week. In the latest adventure in the Marvel Spider-Man universe, teenager Miles Morales is adjusting to his new home while following in the footsteps of his mentor Peter Parker as a new Spider-Man. But when a fierce power struggle threatens to destroy his home, the aspiring hero realizes that with great power, there must also come great responsibility. To save all of Marvel's New York, Miles must take up the mantle of Spider-Man and own it. It comes to PS5 and PS4 November 12th. From the creators of Abzu, The Pathless is the mythic adventure of an archer and an eagle in a vast forest. Explore an open world and travel to a mystical island to dispel a curse of darkness that grips the world together with your eagle companion. Discover the history of the island and fight epic battles to restore light to the land. It comes to PC, PS5, and PS4 November 12th. Sackboy, A Big Adventure. There we go. Iconic PlayStation hero Sackboy bursts back into breathtaking action with a huge, fun, and frantic 3D multiplayer platforming adventure and a whole new edgy Sackitude. The dastardly Vex kidnaps Sackboy's friends and forces them to build his topsy-turvy. Take down Vex, save the Sackfolk, save the day. It's time to fulfill your destiny. It comes to PS4 and PS5 November 12th. And last but not least, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Holy, this really is the craziest week. Black Ops Cold War will drop fans into the depths of the Cold War's volatile geopolitical battle of the early 80s. Nothing is ever as it seems in a gripping single-player campaign where players will come face-to-face with historical figures and hard truths as they battle around the globe through iconic locales like East Berlin, Vietnam, Turkey, Soviet KGB headquarters, and more. It comes to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, and the Xbox One, November 13th. That's all I got for you this week, guys. Whew, that was a lot. Hope you have a great week. Hope you get a new console, or if you're holding off, that's fine. But if you're getting a new console, I hope you get one. Stay safe out there. We'll see you soon.
We are getting closer and closer to the launch of the next generation of consoles, and to build on that hype, a lot of influencers and outlets have gotten their hands on the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. But we here at Inside Gaming didn't get any ourselves, so we're gonna live vicariously through those other people and take a look at what they've said about the Series X and PS5 so we can make an informed decision on